Hey y'all, I am here in my room. I'm about to move tomorrow, so I know that you're like, why is there a random mat behind you? And that's because I was actually filming something for an interview that I was doing, and I just wanted, maps make things look nice, I guess. So this is like what my room kind of looks like right now. I don't have any chairs. I'm actually using a lawn chair right now. But I wanted to talk to you guys about my Teach for America experience. So last month was my last month teaching and my last month in Teach for America. I am now in the alumni hood or whatever they call it, but woohoo! I made it. I made it through. I did not think I was gonna make it through my 2-year Teach for America experience, but I did, and I'm so excited to talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons, what I loved about it, what I did not love about it. So here are some pros and cons of joining Teach for America. First pro is an incredible network and incredible opportunities. There are opportunities that you will only get because you're in Teach for America. Like for instance, I got to go, they would like fly me to go to different cities to like have leadership workshops. And that was super cool. There's like recruiters that are specifically targeting Teach for America alumni and people in Teach for America. They want to hire them. It basically, I mean, I hate to say it, but it looks good on a resume depending on who you're talking to. I know at certain locations, they also give you scholarships at local universities. You can basically get your master's for free if you're in Teach for America. You get an AmeriCorps Education Award. There are people all over the world who have been in Teach for America. And so if you're like, hey, I want to move to the city, you basically have somebody in your region who you can talk to and be like, I'm moving to the city. What are the opportunities here? Do we have any, Teach for America Corps members in this city that I'm moving to that I can contact? So you already have a contact. I know certain locations also who give people like an incentive for joining. If you join and you go to that location, they'll give you an automatic bonus. These are things that you do not get if you are just a regular public school teacher, or if you're a public school, or you're going to be a public school teacher with an alternative certification. Teach for America, the network, the opportunities are, amazing. My first con is your experience with Teach for America is going to be based on your location. So not every location is great. You might think you want to go to a place, and then when you get there, it is so expensive. You realize that teaching there, they don't pay a lot. So you're like basically just trying to survive. Whereas another location that you maybe didn't want to go to, it's probably better for you just because you'll get more for your money that way. Also, you might just not like the people in that location. I know that there are some people, like some staff that I've talked to, people who are Corps members, and they're like, I don't like the staff in this location, I'm butting heads with them. Whereas, you just don't really know. You don't know if a location is gonna be great for you or not unless you try it. I know that there are also some locations where like a lot of people quit because it's just a toxic environment for them. Teach for America isn't like, oh, everybody's doing the exact same thing in all the regions. Regions are in a way competing against each other. They're trying to find like, what is our incentive? How are we gonna run our region? I'm really happy with my region. A lot of people didn't want to move to my region. Like I would say the majority of people I talked to said that this was 10th on their list. But then, a lot of people are actually staying after the 2 years because they like the region, they like how affordable it is. Oh, also, depending on region, you might actually have to pay for your teacher certification. Whereas, like in my region, I'm in Greater Tulsa, we don't have to pay for our certification really. it's like part of Teach for America. I know in other regions, you also have to get a master's degree. So you might actually end up in debt after your Teach for America experience. And what if you don't want to be a teacher? Are you okay with being in debt during your Teach for America experience? Or do you want a place that's affordable? Just like go in order of your priorities. What's your priority and why? You just don't know if a location is going to be great for you or not. I would recommend talking to someone before you join that region who's in that region and ask, what is the environment like? Are people close to each other? Do people talk? Are you going to live in isolation? Know what you're getting into before you go full forward. Something else I loved, to bring a little bit brighter note, second pro is identity training. You're going to get a lot of training on your identity, especially when it comes to race. That's just like, they drill that into you, which at first I was like, what the heck? And some people still hate it. And it's just really awkward, I think, because depending on where you're coming from, you probably don't really talk to people a lot about race so blatantly. And it's a little bit, it feels kind of awkward. And depending on who you have as your leader who's leading that discussion, it might be a terrible discussion. I don't know. I have not had personally any bad experience. Well, I had one bad experience, but most of my experiences around talking about race and identity with Teach for America training have been really helpful for me. Even if they were hard and weird and people were at each other's throats, I still learned something from it. A second con is that teaching is hard, and Teach for America doesn't give, I think, the highest quality training. A lot of the Teach for America staff are not veteran teachers. This is probably my biggest complaint about Teach for America is that, and I realized this very early on, everybody who was in leadership had only taught like 3 to 5 years. There was no like veteran teachers, 20 years, 15 years, even 10 years. Everybody who was training other teachers, they had only been teaching a very, very short time. And I mean, it was hard for me to take some advice seriously because I would just be thinking in my head, you've only been teaching for 2 or 3 years. What do you really know about teaching? I mean, you could, and now I know that you could still know about teaching, but the fact is most people are the best at, teaching when they have been teaching for like 5 to 15 years. And there's just a lot of that missing in the Teach for America training. The thing that's hard is that I'm sure that they're trying to find people who have a lot of experience, but people who have a lot of experience are still in the classroom or were not part of Teach for America or just don't want to do that. So that's something that I really hope Teach for America changes, is finding more veteran teachers to do training. And teaching is just really hard. You don't know if you're gonna actually like teaching until you go into the classroom. And it is not for everybody. People come in thinking, yeah, I went to this great school and, I went to an Ivy League and it was so, difficult and I survived and I persevered. Teaching is so hard and it is tedious. And I mean, there are so many people that you're responsible for. You have to be patient. You have to be kind. You have to be teachable. If you are not teachable, there are going to be people going into your life all the time who are going to tell you what to do. And if you're just going to resist, you're going to have a really hard time and you're going to make everyone's lives a lot harder. So if you don't really know if you want to be a teacher, I would say substitute before you join or apply to Teach for America, because it is not something like, I'm just going to try it out for 2 years. You should actually see if you want to do this, especially if you're just out of college. I had a few years of experience. myself before joining Teach for America, and I had a really difficult time. I can't imagine what someone who's just out of college is dealing with. My last pro, number 3, is that you will be teaching or be in your region with people who are going to work hard and who actually really care about children. That's not always the case in all of the public school system. There are a lot of people who don't care about kids, or I don't know, they're just not thinking about their identity in the classroom. Not to say that everyone will be like that, but you're going to be with some people who really care about kids, who are there for, not everyone's there for the right reasons, but those people will probably quit within the first few months. So you're going to they'll get weeded out, but I like the fact that I was with a lot of people who really inspired me to be the best and to like work harder, because it's easy in your first year to just feel like, I'm just doing my best, stop pushing me. And I felt like that a lot of the times, but I was more inspired by people who I saw were really working hard and doing their best. Teach for America is full of achievers, and people really do achieve a lot. And my last thing, sort of con and thing I didn't like about Teach for America, is that it does take a certain type of personality to be a part of it. If you are someone who's not teachable, if you are not open-minded, if you are like even just really shy and quiet, you're gonna have to change a little bit, because there's a lot of outspoken personalities. The people in Teach for America who are mostly like praised and noticed and are people that are really outspoken. And I just felt like sometimes it always felt like a competition. And I hated that. I just wanted to be myself, and I didn't always feel like I could be myself. There are times when, I like playing the devil's advocate. I would not play the devil's advocate because I was afraid that, if I was outspoken against something or just like thought about the other side of the story, or the other argument, then people would just jump on me and hate me and ostracize me. So, it's not for everybody. If you don't have a thick skin, it's gonna be hard. Not only with Teach for America core members and staff, but in the classroom, people are like, you think you're gonna go in the classroom and they're just gonna love you and you're gonna do great and you're gonna prove everyone wrong that yes, you can be an amazing first year teacher and stuff. It's gonna be hard. I felt like I had to kind of, I became almost, I hate to say this, like a little bit colder towards the world, because I've just seen how awful it is in the classroom, outside of the classroom when it comes to education. I'm like pretty cynical now. It takes a certain type of personality to get along with the Teach for America atmosphere. I think that we need everybody and a whole diverse array of people. I really do. And I wish Teach for America, I think they try to be inclusive of all people, but my complaint is that if you are someone who disagrees with people and you have strong opinions, like, people might be afraid of you and scared, or I don't know, they might not like you. So if you don't have a thick skin and you don't, if you like need people to like you all the time, it's gonna be a really rough 2 years. So those are my things I loved and I did not love about Teach for America. I hope that this helps somebody out there. I am gonna go eat lunch.